guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy. He is a successful passport bro. He's been married to his wife that he met in the Philippines. Met her like 25 years ago, married her for 19, and he's had a lot of great success on multiple fronts. And he's writing in to share all the different do's and don'ts he's learned over the year based on his experience and other guys that he's known has done this. And that'll be a very good one to go over here because I know that a lot of guys have thought about this potential option. There are a lot of guys that watch me that would like to get married one day, but quite simply, they either don't trust Western women or they're completely so turned off by so many, that's just off the table. Now, real quick before I go into this, for those that are new, what is a passport bro? Well, basically, that's a guy who's, as I said, fed up with Western women and they're looking elsewhere. Other parts of the world that haven't been, the claws of feminism hasn't messed up the women there. They come from areas that are very traditional, very conservative, that type of thing. Typical locations are Eastern Europe, parts of Eastern Europe, parts of South America, parts of Southeast Asia, Pacific region, that type of thing. And this guy, his situation, his wife, he met in the Philippines. And a lot of guys have gone down this route and had a lot of success. But there's also pitfalls, and you got to be very careful. And this guy takes the time to really write this thing out to help guys out. Now, he met his wife before, dating apps really took place. And so it's a little different, but he also puts in perspective from a lot of guys that he knew, and also really addresses the fact about how when guys can go there for an extended stay, things to know about the cultures. So this is really worth your time. Now, let me make this abundantly clear. This is not a video on how to just bang local chicks and get some. It's not going to be that hard. I mean, if you're a Western guy, you're remotely attracted, got some money, it should not be that difficult to hook up with local girls. This is for guys that actually are looking to meet someone they can bring back home and marry. Because there are guys that do want a family, And by the way, this guy, he did a video. He said, I covered his video a few days ago, and he mentioned that if he dealing with the women he knows, and he mentioned saying, hey, I'll be happy to do do's and don'ts if you want to. And a lot of you guys have probably saw this expressed interest, so that's what I'm doing today. So sit back. This is very informative. And even if it's not your thing, hey, you might learn something here. So it starts off, says here, hello, SSM. If you happen to be a man who's looking to ultimately find a wife, have some kids, and enjoy the rest of your life with the right partner, it's going to take some work. Hell, she doesn't have to be from another country. Any good relationship is going to take work. In the comment section, there was one guy who said, I've been watching for 5 minutes, and that story hasn't started, so I'm out. Passport bro life is not for him. He doesn't have enough patience for that. This is one of your biggest keys, patience. Many people's attention span is so short, if you don't have anything you want immediately, you can forget it. Well, that's a lot of society, to be honest here. This is not the life for those kind of people. A proper relationship takes time. I will try to give my best advice coming from my personal experiences and the experiences of the others I know who also have married a foreign woman. Well, I'm glad, bro, of course, that you're doing this, but also this isn't just based on your experience. It's on other experiences from other guys. That's really helpful. The first step in becoming a passport bro and having success, a lot of people nowadays are finding people through social media or on dating apps, and then starting their journey of dating and getting to know one another. For me, mine was a little bit different. It was a bit more old school because it was before dating apps. I was introduced to the woman who became my wife from her aunt who lived here in the United States. She said to me, you're single. If you're interested, I have a niece in the Philippines. She's in college right now. She's pretty. I think you might like her. Well, the old days when people actually talked to one another. Well, I didn't take it too seriously at the time, but I was open to it. And I think that's the first step. You have to be open to somebody from a foreign country. You must be open to exposing yourself to another culture, language, and traditions from somebody you never even met. If you get to meet other people from another culture and you like that, you think that their women are very beautiful, you may consider getting to know them, ask them about their traditions, and find out everything you can do to find out if that's something that you're okay with. Okay, so your situation was obviously this is before you even went there. Well, a lot of guys will just go there for an extended period of time and then meet a girl there, When I was first introduced to my wife, or my now wife, I spoke to her casually, slowly getting to know her, but also living my own life. You're not expected to just fall in love and then expect to go and visit her right away, and everything's going to be perfect. I took my time being in contact with her and finding out that she was truly wife material. If I had the resources to go and visit her earlier, I would have done that. But at the time, in my life, that was not an option. Okay, again, your situation is a little different because her aunt, who you knew here in the States, and I forget how that happened, made the introduction, and you were talking. Fair enough, But of course, you're not going to go fall in love with somebody right away because that's stupid. And at the end of the day, we all know, or most of you know, you can love your girl, but don't be in love with her because most guys can't handle themselves once they're in love with a woman. They make all sorts of stupid mistakes. By the time we had the chance to meet up in person for the first time, I already knew everything I needed to know about her on most levels, but now was the test of being together in person. This is the real test. I heard it stated on this channel, and I think that is important. She must be more into you than you are into her. Amen, brother. Exactly. Let me explain what you need to know about that. Most women in these poor countries have no idea what the outside world is really like. They live in their tiny bubble and never expect to break out of it. The moment you take interest in her and she starts to see a world of possibilities starting to open up, you become her whole world. Well, I'm sure that's very true. And also, let's be honest, because you are a way out. I have to say it, because I know everybody's thinking it. You are a potential way out of the life that obviously isn't too good. And also one for her family, or at least to help her family. We got to be honest here, But this is when you met your wife back, 20-some years ago, before dating apps. Obviously, late 90s, maybe very early 2000s when dating apps were still early on. But before social media, when the internet was still young. Nowadays, these people in the foreign countries, the poor countries, they still, a lot will have smartphones. And they can see what they think is the outside world through TikTok and things like that. So you got to be careful. When you meet her, she'll be looking forward to your calls, texts, video chats, and any other communication. It will brighten her day, and she should be giddy every time you communicate with her. Then you know you are on the right track. If it seems like she's not into you, then you know you need to ask her directly about her feelings. There may be cultural differences you're not aware of. This is where your patience and understanding comes in. But if it's not working out for you, then end it and look elsewhere. Well, guys, when women like you, they make it easy. And it's pretty obvious when they like you, because they're enthusiastic to talk to you, get together with you, be with you, have fun with you on multiple fronts, all that. And if she isn't doing any of that, then you know you're wasting your time. Move on. And again, guys, this is for being a passport bro, going to a different part of the world and looking for a wife material, not, just a hookup. He says, now he's going to break this into a lot of different categories to help you out. He says, trust. Trust is something that you give the benefit of the doubt for in the beginning or meeting anyone, but cautiously. Over time, the consistency and trustworthiness is what builds trust. I have friends I've known for 30 years now. I absolutely trust these guys. Years of having my back and me having theirs has proven to pay off. So as we always say, trust but verify. I've been married for 19 years and have known her for several years before that. I still verify regularly. If there's any inconsistency, I look into it. It always seems to check out. See? Married 19 years, they have kids, all that, and still he verifies. You have to. Cultural differences. Not only that, but language as well. If you already speak Spanish and you are looking in Latin America for a wife, you're already halfway there. But for those of us who are English speakers only, this can be a problem in many areas. In my case, the Philippines, English is still taught to everyone in school, so most people there are very capable English speakers. This is a big plus for communication, but there are still plenty of cultural differences. For example, Filipino women, when they get mad, they do what they call tampo. This is essentially the silent treatment. Depending on how mad they get, this could last several days or even longer. Well, I don't care about their culture. That is unacceptable. That is manipulation from the get-go. You want somebody that can communicate like an adult. So if you're involved with someone like this, so you go to the Philippines and she's doing tampo for whatever reason, whatever bug is up her butt, then you communicate to her that, hey, we're going to have something together. We're going to talk. If something's bothering you, talk to me. None of this silent treatment crap. That may be how you did things in your culture to guys. You're not going to do that here. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And of course, you can say this in a way that doesn't come off as nasty or mean, but you're certainly being assertive. That's what I take out of this. I've seen too many relationships with the silent treatment crap, and it's a bad place to be. He says, sometimes they won't even tell you what they're mad about. That can be extremely frustrating. Oh, they want you to be a mind reader and more manipulation crap. To try to deal with that cultural difference, just give her space. Tell her I still love her and wait for her to cool down. Later on, she will come to me and want to talk and talk it out. But you have to be more patient than when having a foreign partner. It just comes with the territory. Well, again, I'm okay with being patient on the basis that she's been reciprocating all along in a positive, healthy manner. But making it clear upon the whole boundaries thing, which all guys have to set, no, we're going to communicate. Now, I don't care about your culture and tempo. We're going to talk about this shit out. Otherwise, hey, nice knowing you. When I went to my wife's province for the first time, I was absolutely blown away by the level of poverty that I saw. It was unlike anything I see in my life, and let me know she came from very humble beginnings, and that she's going to truly appreciate the things that we have in life. Ultimately, the little things are really the big things. You'll come to understand that the older you get. Yeah, man, I have heard some stories. My brother-in-law, Navy officer, he's been around the world, and believe me, he has seen some extreme poverty. It is so freaking sad. Communication, or communicate. Without communication, there is no relationship. Some cultures keep their feelings bottled up. You have to let them know that we have to be an open book to each other. One together, open phone policy, social media, email, and other communications. She can see yours, you can see hers. It has to be that way. Poor communication leads to nearly every breakup I ever had. So establish it early on that you value open communication, and it's one of your top priorities. Okay, well, there you go. That goes back to the whole silent treatment crap. You can't accept that crap. I'd be like, honey, that tempo ain't going to work with me. Next up, character. Both hers and yours. This goes with the right intentions. If you're only looking to bang local women, then you should not try to play with these girls' hearts. If she's only looking for a sugar daddy, then you need to dump her and find somebody else. But if both of you are looking for a permanent partner and your heart's in the right place, then move forward, but do it cautiously. You always have to be cautious. Yeah, look, again, guys, this is for guys that want to actually find a woman to marry, have a family with. For all the guys out there, I can't stress this enough for this video. But for the guys that just want to hook up, look, you go to these other parts of the world, these poor countries. If you're a Western guy, you're remotely attractive, and you got some extra money, shouldn't be too hard to get laid. And remember, I wouldn't feel too bad for some of these girls because some are just looking to use guys so you can use them and go about your business. I never claimed to be a saint over here, and I'm not going to start now, but that is what it is. But again, if you're looking for, you're tired of these Western chicks here, and who can blame you? Looking for a wife, this is to help you. Remember, sometimes things you say that you think are normal are simply not normal to them, and vice versa. So communicate this back and forth so there's less and less miscommunication. Respect goes along with this. Without respect, there is no relationship. More importantly, a woman who does not respect her man will not remain loyal. Thank you. What I tell you guys, if she doesn't respect you, she'll never love you, and she ain't going to be loyal to you. This is around the world. Human nature. So not only should you demand respect from her and her family, I'm glad you mentioned her family too, but you must do everything you can to prove to them that you are a man worthy of respect. Well, in my opinion, you don't need to prove shit. If you are behaving in a respectful manner, you don't need to prove, that's just me. My years in the Navy taught me the core values of honor, courage, and commitment. It was something that was drilled into our heads until we started to live it. You have to be the example that others follow. She will follow in your footsteps if you live this every day. And you will know when you fall short. We all do sometimes, so when you do it, fix it. Yeah, nobody's going to be perfect all the time. Another one, laying down your expectations and ground rules in the beginning. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, boundaries. There's going to be some things that are deal breakers for you. Tell her you expect her to be loyal and a respectable wife. This is what you're looking for, and in turn, you'll be the same for her. I'm looking for a long-term traditional marriage. I expect that if we fight, we will both do our best to listen to each other, acknowledge each other's feelings and our needs, and come together to fix any problems we encounter. Hence, no tempo. None of this, don't talk to me for a week because you're mad. Mad that I'm not a fucking mind reader. You'll be taking all this very slowly, and you have plenty of time to let each other know what you expect in your relationship, and if she cares for you, she'll respect that and ensure she is accustomed to you and your expectations. Well, basically this guy's describing here is leadership. You're leading the relationship, multiple fronts. And if she's traditional and feminine and all the good qualities, she'll follow. But she won't follow your lead if she doesn't respect you. The same way you customize her to your bedroom activities. You two will mold themselves to each other as partners. She will bond to you as long as you are not neglecting her. She'll always keep you first. By constantly staying aware, it's just your burden to bear. Now we're down to traveling. He says your first visit. If you've never traveled outside the country, be ready for a culture shock. Every country I have been to have many things that really open my eyes. If you already have a girl you're looking to meet, then she will be your guide. She should be there at the airport to meet you and help you get transportation to your hotel. Try to stay in a modern and safe hotel. If you're still wary, bring a friend. He can have his own room because he might find himself a local gal or two to enjoy his stay as well. That's a good idea. Yeah, stay in a Western hotel, someplace obviously in a busy area with a lot of people. And yeah, maybe bring a bro. He'll have fun. Be sure you have already met her parents and other family members over video chat and have established a relationship with them before you arrive. Again, this is on the basis that you were talking to her, ahead of time. But remember, and I got to say this, there are lots of guys that sent me stories that have some way, somehow started talking to chicks overseas, Philippines in particular, and so-called established relationships with them. I'm saying that lately, and they're just scamming them. So you got to be careful. I think for a lot of guys, it's better they simply get on a freaking plane, they have an extended stay, and see who they meet over there. But anyhow, this is on this basis of what he did. It says here, I've heard of women so afraid of their father that after a few years of communication and your interaction to marry, their parents don't even know you exist. This is unacceptable. They try to drop this on their parents right before they leave the country, or as you're about to marry, lay down the law early on. He says, don't be that guy. Next section. I'm sure by now you've all heard of that one guy who went overseas, got involved with some local girl, she got her hooks in him and bled him dry. Sometimes it's when he visits her and he's loose with his wallet and feels like he's going to make it rain every day that he goes. But in more cases than not, it's where a sad story comes up every other week or so. Well, I've covered some of those stories, and these guys are completely naive and foolish, and, these local gals will take advantage of them. So this is why I say you must be careful. A sick grandmother, rent is due, my brother got in trouble, and we have to pay off the police or he'll get out of jail, or for him to get out of jail. Some BS scheme where you are asked to politely send her a small amount of money to help her out. And while that amount becomes larger and larger and more frequent, don't be that guy. The U.S. dollar is strong, but no woman who really cares about you is looking to take your money. Establish that early in the relationship. I expect you to want me for me, and she should know that being with you, that you will change her life for the better anyway. But as we have already established, this process takes time and trust, and is something that will take time to build. If she turns out to be untrustworthy, you know what to do. That's right. Send her back to the street. Next section, getting good with some of her friends. This is one that can be something others may overlook. You don't have to communicate with them all the time, but reach out to them and gain their trust. Well, I can kind of I understand where you're going with this, but also I can see how that can be interpreted as maybe, cheating, depending on who you're dealing with. You can be doing some local drama queen, like, you're talking to my friends. This way, if your girl is scheming or trying to do something you don't approve of, one of her friends will rat her out. I don't know about that. They could be in on the scheme. It's like a spy system. Most women can't keep gossip to themselves, even if $1 million is on the line. I agree there. So be sure you are one of those circles. It's an insurance policy. But be aware, if one of her friends is jealous of her, she might try to sabotage your relationship. So try to tell your friend that you are also looking for an American for her too. She'll be more prone to tell you the truth. That's a good idea. What? A friend trying to sabotage a relationship because she's jealous? No. Again, different part of the world, but the same behavior. Some things to consider, he says. Because of this channel, we hear so many stories of women being selfish and screwing over guys, and we tend to feel like we should give anything to a woman to protect ourselves from getting hurt. If you're planning to have a successful marriage, you have to make a few sacrifices to make things work. Well, yes, there are people coming together in compromises in marriages. The problem is usually it's the guy who does all the sacrificing and the woman doesn't. So if there's going to be any sacrifices or compromises, it's got to go from both sides. Remember, if you in good faith give yourself and she does not reciprocate, tell her what you expect from her. It is a learning process and then try again. I go by 3 strikes and you're out philosophy. If she strikes out with malice and full knowledge of what she's doing, dump her. The misunderstanding or cultural differences can be fixed easy. Show patience and explain to her your expectations. A woman who cares will do her part to help you out and learn what makes you happy. Okay. Again, on the basis that this is purely for a relationship and she has other good qualities, not because you're looking for a hookup. Here's a reality that some people will be very turned off by, but if you think about it, it's not as bad as it might sound at the beginning. Yeah, disclaimer, guys. This is going to be where a lot of guys are going to be like, and I'll have an opinion on this. Once you have a wife in the States or back at your home country living with you, she's going to be thinking about her family back home, knowing how they're living, and she's going to feel obligated to help out in any way she can. If you put yourself in her position, of course you'd want to help out family as well. So that's where empathy comes in. But like anything else, you have to ensure that you're not being taken advantage of. In my wife's country, where her family lives, $100 would pay for enough food for her entire family, and it's a big one for a month, as well as other living expenses. $100 in the Philippines, $100 American dollars will take care of food for a month. Now, is this based on 2025? What $25 will purchase over there, or 25 years ago when you first met her? I like to know the difference there. But if they buy all their food and they cook it and everything like that, then maybe. Now, my wife works as well, and she makes pretty decent money, so when it comes to helping out family, I put that burden on her to help out. I establish that everything is taken care of with us first, before you try to help them out. In the beginning, they were asking a lot, but as time went on, they knew that even my wife was cutting them off and saying no. So right there, and before I'll continue on a moment here. So this is a part where that would turn a lot of guys off. And you can't tell me, and I got to be fair here to all the guys listening to this, that there are women there that are deliberately looking for a Western man with some resources and will put on all the charm, be happy to marry him, not because of him, but because they want to get out of their country and they don't want to help provide for their family. So men have to be careful that it isn't just about them, because they can get blood dry. And right here. But here's the thing, guys. It's, in my opinion, I get where he's coming from. You marry her, and she generally really digs you, wants to marry you, have a life with you, but she cares about the family back home. Now, $100, $200 a month, for most people, no big deal. Some people would be. But if it's higher and higher and higher, and next thing is thousands of dollars a month, which is a hell of a lot of money over there, that's a problem. So, like anything, you got to be very careful. Some guys may be listening to this and are like, maybe I don't want to do this. Well, this is why I'm sharing this. I don't know what your personal situations are, but any woman from any country you're talking to will have to understand your financial situation. She must understand that everything is taken care of at home here with us first. If there's any way to assist from time to time, we can lend a hand. Not on a regular basis. Okay, there you go. Made that clear. As I said, that could possibly turn a lot of people off right away, but think about your wife's happiness as well. That's funny. Don't say it. If you're going to say happy life, happy wife, or happy wife, happy life, I'm throwing this out the window, but don't worry, he's not. He's not. If her family is suffering, do you think she's going to be in a good place mentally and emotionally while she's with you? Well, of course not. You're living in the U.S. and you have a nice house, nice car, and have food on the table, electricity, and everything is going well. Her family is dirt poor and suffering. She's not going to feel very happy knowing that you two could help, but you refuse to do so. Just something to think about. Okay, that's fair, but there's balance here. Again, if she's sending a couple $100 back home to mom and dad, that's one thing, but if this is thousands of dollars every freaking month, that's something else. And you just got to be careful. Now, think about if you had to help out with $100 or $200 here and there versus a high-maintenance woman who wants to get her hair and nails done, wants you to buy bags, shoes, clothing, take her out to dinner, expensive drinks, trips, and all kinds of other stuff. What sounds better? Giving your girl peace of mind, knowing her family's taken care of, is going to make her a lot more focused on you and your household, and ultimately a family that the two of you are going to make together. Well, that's a fair point. 100, $200 to family back home in the Philippines or somewhere in South America or Eastern Europe versus a gold digger here. But what happens if the girl you marry and bring from the Philippines or Eastern Europe or South America turns into a gold digger and wants to send money back home all the time? Again, man has to be careful. Plus, her family is going to love you as well. Well, they better. Knowing that their girl is well taken care of, you give peace of mind to the parents and other family members. It can be a burden, but any relationship carries its own burdens. One thing we ended up doing for her family was to help open a small business for her family to run in their hometown. Now, they're pretty much self-sufficient, and they don't really ask us for anything anymore. As the saying goes, a rising tide raises all boats. That's a good idea. Exactly. Help them start their own ways to take care of themselves in some better fashion. Teach them basic business sense. Find a local thing they can do. Train in it. Finance it. Probably won't cost a lot of money. Learn the basic laws for the country running a business. Off you go. That's a very good idea. Next up, test the waters. For those who have the resources and want to test the waters, go to the country where you are exploring your possibilities. Go meet the women, go have some fun, and you may even enjoy the local ladies. Well, that's what most guys are going to do. I think most guys aren't going to trust women they could potentially talk on the internet unless somebody, introduces them some way, somehow, kind of like the situation how you met your wife. I think most guys are going to go for an extended stay to Thailand or the Philippines or where the hell it is and meet them locally and get to know the country. And then, apply all these things that you're talking about. He says, test it out and you'll see how you like it. You should enjoy yourself, the food, the culture, and see if finding a local lady for something more serious is for you. If you're able financially to actually move to one of these countries for an extended period of time, you may be able to work remotely. Or if you're retired and receiving a pension, you can usually rent a nice condo, a home, or in a nice location and date local ladies. I think that's the way most guys are going to go. He says, live in. I'm sure other countries have their own versions of this, but in the Philippines, there is a relationship status they call a live-in partner. You can establish a live-in situation where you just date local women until you find one you want to stick with. If you're ready to, you have her move in with you, but there is no marriage. You get all the benefits of a marriage, but nothing official. If things are not working out, send her packing and move on. For those of you who are in a situation where you can do this, this could work out well for you. Hey, question is, here's the deal. There's going to be scams everywhere. Let's be honest. You got to be careful. But imagine a living with you and she's living with somebody else or seeing somebody else. I can't help but be negative and be cynical. But, you try these things out. I could probably write several more pages on this stuff because I'm not only talking about dating for women, but relationship stuff that helped me in a successful marriage. No matter who you're with, there are certainly things you have to do to ensure that your relationship works out. I hope this was entertaining and informative. I hope it wasn't something that bored you all to death. I try to add enough information here that covered as many topics as I could. I know it's an interesting topic, and many people are curious about how the whole passport bro thing works out. I know some guys just go overseas and bang women. That's cool too. I'm just giving you my perspective on how to make a relationship like this work. Looking forward to the comments, Mike. Well, Mike, thank you for sending the information. I appreciate it. And yeah, again, this is for guys that want to have relationships. And this isn't just for the Philippines. This can be applied anywhere. Because he said he has other people he knows, other guys that did this. And I'm sure it isn't just the Philippines. The typical places are South America, Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, Pacific region, that type of thing. And there you go. And I still think probably the best thing, in my opinion, would be I just wouldn't trust talking to people on the internet. And however that is facilitated, Better just go there for an extended stay, meet people, and see how it goes, but then remember all these things and all that. And it's a very fair point that, look, these are poorer countries, and American dollars go a long way. And so a lot of these gals want to find themselves a Western man. And they may really like the guy and everything like that, be attracted to him, but remember, you just got to be careful. It's like anything in life, you got to be careful. And because you can be really taken advantage of. Girl sees a Western guy, figures he's got some money, that could be her way out and a way to take care of the family. And I got no problem, honestly, if she's really into you and has all these positive features, qualities, all that. And yeah, the family's poor and she wants to send a couple $100 here and there. Really, that's not that big a deal. But when you start feeling like you're really being milked, that's something else. But all the things he talks about here are very common sense things from the get-go about the understanding the culture, boundaries, communication, all that stuff. A lot of it's just common sense that you'd have here. So anyhow, guys, there you go. Again, this guy's been married to his wife 19 years. Year before, successful marriage. And this guy, he was R-pilled before Pride. There was a thing being R-pilled, even though it's not fashionable to say R-pill anymore, ever since about 2023, but you guys get the point. And he verifies, he makes it clear, and he obviously lays down the law when he has to, and she loves him for it. He acts like a fucking man. He's old school. But also comes with the fact that she has good qualities. So I'm glad he's doing well, and maybe this can help out. If one person's watching this and this helps them on that journey, great. Because I know there's a lot of guys, whether you want to admit it or not, that you guys actually would like to have a family one day. You'd like children. But understandably, you just don't trust American women or Western women and the system. But if you can get a gal that comes from a culture that actually has some good old-fashioned qualities, then that's a possibility. So that's why I'm covering this story today. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Give this guy a shout out and a thank you for taking the time to write this. I really appreciate it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.